We've introduced Brittany. We want to really just talk about, Brittany, your experience with Facepay. You said you've been on for a little over a year now, I think it is, and you're a $2 million shop at an ATI shop that we met there. What is your story on Facepay? And really that first one is, how are you presenting it to your customers and at what stage?
I feel like it's a really easy way to present it nowadays, because how many times in the last 2 years, especially with COVID, have we heard of contactless payment? Like, we've heard of it tons and tons of times. So we do call it that to our customers too. We're in Washington State and people really like that here as well. But we have Facepay on our computers inside the office. When the customers come in, they see it. Hey, here's our preferred method of payment. And I also give out a what to expect card to my customers. So it actually says that on there, that that's the form of payment that they should be using and that we prefer. And then we also have it on Auto Vitals. When we send out the inspection, it's automatically on there for them to sign up. And then we can also text them to sign up too. And I feel like when you really want Facepay to work in your business, you should have all of your service advisors do the walkthrough as if they were a customer. So just like go to charge them $1 on Facepay and have them go through every single step that a customer would have to go through. That's been really motivating for my service advisors, because they're like, oh my gosh, that is so simple and so easy. Like, there's no reason why a customer should like combat doing that. And like just in March, for instance, we did $210,000 that month, and only $37,000 went through on the credit card machine. So we're clearly getting people to use it, and which is also awesome to hear that people are using like their actual own money, and the credit card companies and the credit card processors are not getting all that, greedy money that they're so entitled to.
This mystery middleman or middle woman that we don't know that you guys are giving your profit to. So a couple of things just you touched on there, Brittany, was one I just found out about just in the 5 minutes we had before, is having your team go for it. Often when Frankie or myself train you guys or have trained you, we've had us do a test payment from us being the customer side. I think Brittany said it right there. Send them over a text to pay for $1. Have your service team go through the steps that it takes to sign up from the customer side. That way, not that they need to be experts on Facepay, and that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. You don't need to talk perfectly about every single detail about it, but just going through the experience of paying $1 with it and seeing what the customer sees allows them to answer every question. It also gives them confidence, to Brittany's point, that they've seen the process, they've seen how easy it is, and how streamlined that can be from the customer side. So that's great. And Brittany, you said it's done through Auto Vitals on the automated side, right? So whatever systems you have, there is, most of the time we can automate some things. But what would you say about that? I put on here the value of mentioning Facepay in person, the value of Brittany, the owner, or your service team mentioning in person. What do you see the value of that from your end?
Well, yeah, it just gets it in their mind that that's how they're going to be paying. So like they already know that like that's what's to come. That's what it's called. It's super secure. We tell them how secure it is. We tell them like we've even met the owner of Facepay and everything. Like it's just as secure as Venmo. Like people will mention that sometimes too. It's pretty rare, but I've had people mention like, well, why can't I just Venmo or PayPal you or whatever like that? And then I'm like, those companies charge. We're getting away from giving all those big, huge companies money. That's what the point is. So
and just on that, do you, and I speak from a consumer's point of view, before I obviously started working with Facepay and understanding how it worked, does enough of your customers know about this credit card payment going to, charging a small business? Because I think from that side of view, I'm not a big advocate of hey, this way. Don't think many customers know all the time that you as a small business are getting charged. And I think it's worth mentioning without giving it the boo-hoo story necessarily, but, I don't know whether enough customers understand that is the process of how every time they swipe that card, especially those rewards cards, they can be upwards of 3% sometimes, right? So do you think enough of your customers know that?
Luckily, like we have great customers that like don't combat it too much. there's definitely times where I have to explain like, hey, why, like basically like, why should I have to pay for you to pull out your card, you know, as a small business? And then we do go through the whole spiel. Like my service advisors know exactly what to say when they're getting some sort of negative comments or you know, combativeness with using this form of payment. And we straight up tell them just the facts of the facts. And like we have saved as a small business, like last year alone, it would have been probably somewhere in like the $50,000 for the year for credit card processing if we didn't do this. And then what I did for my team, and this is 100% fact, I give my team healthcare because of that money that I'm saving. So, and then we tell the customers that too, and then they'll start to kind of lighten up, and they're like, okay. I mean, it's very rare that you get the customer that's like, you know, super mad about it or sour about it or whatever.
And I think many people that are doing business with you, Brittany, you have a personal relationship. That's one of the things I like about working with small businesses. You guys have these more personal relationships, and I think a lot of people will help you guys where they can, right? So I think that's a point that just bringing it up, we get some reservations like, oh, customers won't use it. I get that. You will get some apprehensions, but for the most part, if you present it correctly and you offer it to them and you offer it to enough customers, you're going to get a good amount of customers or a good percentage of customers that use it, right? So we touched on this, Brittany, and this is one of the things I think I want to talk about. We talk about it on our weekly call with myself, Frankie, and Matthew about how do we get the owner to buy in, to get the team to buy in. So you touched on it there, right, Brittany, about health insurance.
Yeah.
And being able to afford that for your team. How much of an impact did that get for you as the owner or as the main operator of that business? How much was involving them, the staff, key to getting buy-in, do you think?
I think I mean, the whole healthcare thing, that was huge. And then just knowing that the business, because like my whole team, like I've always focused on culture. So I have really, 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 really great culture here. So not only do they care about themselves and their own pay and like their own benefits and stuff like that, they 100% also care about the business and like how much money that the business is saving. So I'm always an open book with every single one of my team members here. And I tell them exactly how much we've spent on, you know, credit card processing and how much we're saving. And then what we're able to do in turn of that. That was really easy to incentivize them to use Facepay to know that we're saving so much money. And then, you know, screw Visa and all those big credit cards, because what are they making? They're making money on processing, and they're making money on the interest of the money that you owe. Like we need to stop giving them so much money and like skip them. And like how we explain it is like, hey, Facepay is just basically a bank to bank transfer. It's super, super secure. You don't have to bring a checkbook. You don't have to go get cash. It's right there on your phone. It's extremely easy. You can see it right on your screen. I get it immediately. And yeah, I mean, it's just so easy to do, and they can pay before they come in. Or, you know, we also live in a college town. I have so many parents pay via Facepay when they're away, and it's way easier than transferring to their kids' card or whatever.
One of the things I was going to touch on the last point there, just to kind of reiterate on the staff thing, I think I always kind of frame it. Would you rather give this money you're saving to, or potentially saving to these mystery middlemen that we keep referring to on the credit card side? Mm-hmm. Would you rather build it into an incentive for your team, right? Can you build it into some incentive? If you're open about this 2% or whatever you guys are being built, every bit of dollar that is saved through Facepay, there is an avenue to potentially share that with your team, to potentially have a Christmas party, or mm-hmm. maybe for the techs, maybe it's some equipment. There's always something. When I speak to shop owners, there's always something that you guys are needing to buy or needing to purchase. So it's saving the money, and I know there's a lot of fix ops in your operation now. So saving this money, there's a lot of stuff you can't save. This is one of the ways. If you get your team involved in it and doing that, I think this is a great way to put that money back to good use, as opposed to just putting it away to, like Brittany said, to these big companies, Visa and whatnot. So just the one thing on that, Brittany, about you said to me about these big jobs, right? You do big jobs and you require a down payment. So can you just touch on that what you talked about and how that works?
Yeah, anything. So, like policy here at our shop, anything over $5,000, we get half down to start. And rather than having the customer come back in and pay or have to use their credit card or anything like that, we just face pay them, and then they can just pay half down, boom, right then and there. They don't have to go anywhere, literally just from their phone. And then, face pay also guarantees that we're going to get that money too. So then we can go ahead and get started, and it's like the fastest thing and most secure thing. No, they didn't have to give anybody their card number or the phone. And like I said, they didn't have to waste their time going to get a check or going to get cash to come back in to do the half down. So yeah, we use it on big jobs and we use it on small jobs too. It's like
one of the things I heard a customer of ours, a shop of ours, explain it really well with regards to that security side from the customer side is, all you see from the shop's point of view of the customer is their name, right? You see them in the dashboard, you see their name with a little green checkout button next to them. So if you're thinking of a way to explain it to the customer on what you guys see and what they're sharing, it is so minimal. Is you literally see their name and you're able to accept that payment from them or send them a text to pay. So I think the after hour pickup is something certainly a lot of you guys are doing from a convenience point of view. And when you're offering such conveniences to customers, you can't just have the customers take away from you. So when they're asking for something from you, yes, the customer is 9 times out of 10, or we always say that they're always right. You can always guide them to pay in your preferred way, right? Pay in a way that's not going to cost you 2% or card not present 3%. I think it gets scored too. So any after hour stuff, any big jobs on down payment, it saves that customer from coming back in. If they ultimately have to come back in and do it that way, it's an inconvenience to everybody at that stage. So using Facepay, send them over that text to pay for a dollar amount. You see it's in the system before you even get started on that job, and you're just a little bit more secure. So this is another thing we just chatted about, Brittany. There's 2 ways to do it, right? There's the check-in and having them in the system and the ability to check them out. Also, there's that text to pay. So you say you sound like you use this text to pay option a little bit more frequently. So obviously on the down payment side, when do you send this and how do you present it to the customer? Is it over the phone that you do it, or how does it work?
We honestly don't even make it feel like an option to them. We're like, all right, well, I'll send this over to you so you can give half down. Like it doesn't even sound or feel like an option to them. It's just like, okay, that's how you do it here. So that's even a better way to get people to use Facepay is don't make it seem like an option. Obviously you have other options, but don't make it seem like it's an option. Make it that this is like your primary way of doing
guide
it.
them. If you can guide them, right, this is the way to do it, right? Be a little bit more authoritative on that. Hey, we're going to send you a link. And that's the thing with the text to pay, right? At least 9 out of 10 of shops that I deal with, you have to call the customer to let them know the vehicle's ready, or you have to call them to get that bill finalized, right? Or to get it approved. At that stage, whenever you're on the phone with them, that's the stage when the dollar amount is finalized. Okay, it's $450 we agreed on. I'm going to send you a text to pay option right now that you can take care of this right now, right? The bill is finalized. I'm going to shoot you over a text right now. And again, it's that in-person touch. Lets them know the text is coming, and you can just deliver that. So I like your way of putting it there, Brittany. So,
or a lot of my customers honestly prefer texting as their preferred method of contact. So that's already super nice. I'm texting them like, hey, your car's all done and ready to go. I'm going to send you over Facepay to pay, and then you can come pick up anytime. And if you want to pick it up after hours and me leave your key in the Dropbox, just let me know. And then, we can work out the details of that too. So yeah.
I like it. And this is playing into the customer convenient point of view, right? You're doing what they're asking, but also asking for something a little bit in return with regards to, hey, we prefer you pay this way, and we can lock it in the Dropbox. And it just covers your guys' back. I don't think it happens as much anymore, but these credit card chargebacks were once a big issue. And I think this, again, as a small business, you only need to go through one of those things for a big job, right? Imagine a big ticket and they're able to dispute it some way or another.
Yeah,
as a small business that can crush you. So this is what I kind of wanted to finish on here, Brittany, and then I'm going to kind of open it up for some questions. We've only got a few of you on the call, but we want to offer some kind of incentive, and I'll be able to send this over to the guys that join the call. We just want you to ask. We've seen that it can work, and we know the apprehensions that you guys are running into. We just want you to ask, and that involves this text to pay that Brittany touched upon, or this check-in text. Just mention to customers, get comfortable with it, and mention it to customers at that drop-off, or when the vehicle's ready for pickup, send them that text to pay and just mention. We understand that this is a different way of doing things, and this is a change. But if you want to win with Facepay, like we want you to win, it doesn't matter to us on the sense of that. We want you to put for as many dollars to save as we can. And I say that authentically. We want you guys to save. It doesn't change our fee, right? The credit cards, if you put through more, they get more. If you put through more with us, that fee stays the same. Absolutely stays the same. So I know there's only a few of you on the call, but between now and the end of June, we want to incentivize you. So we've got a big first prize here for the first shop on the call that puts through $15,000 through Facepay, right? So we're going to give a $500 gift card. We can do it per the owner. We can send it to the owner directly. We can Facepay it to you. We can do it in Amazon gift cards, or the one who takes the leader. So it could be a shop manager, service advisor, whoever it is. Okay, and we'll send you this. If we reach 10,000, if you reach 10,000 between now and the end of June, we'd love to buy you lunch. And if you reach 5,000 between now and the end of June, which is very, very attainable, we'd love to buy you guys coffee and donuts for the shop. We want to have you guys buy in, and just the fact that you're on this call is encouraged us that you want to learn more on how to do this. So at this stage, I kind of want to open up a little bit more to maybe Frankie and Matthew, but to Mike, to Charlie, to Tyler, to Seiko, to Depeche. What are you guys seeing, and what can we do on our side to make this smoother for you? So if any of you got any questions or comments right now, we'd love to hear and address on this call. And if not, it's going to be quiet here, Brittany. So let's see.
This is Mike over at Fine Tuned. Look, we're just starting out with it, but we will be using it a lot more after listening to this. I don't really have any questions on it.
Brilliant. Well, I appreciate your commenting there, Mike. And like I said, me and Frankie have spoken to Kenny a couple of times, and I know we're in that opening period of it. We want to make it successful for you. So anytime you've got our information, you can call us. Again, going through that first payment is often one of the most difficult ones because it's brand new. We're here to get you through. Once you see a couple go through, and I think Kenny's done a couple on his own, but once you see a couple go through, you'll see just how easy it is. So
no, I agree with you, and I think that's something that we're trying to implement it in more.
I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Charlie, Tyler, Seiko, Depeche, any comments? I know, and if you don't want to do it on this recording here, we can reach out to you. You can email me, and we can set up some more individual time to get you retrained or whatever it is. But if there's anything else you want to say now, then go ahead. Or Frankie, anything from you?
I have a question for you, Brittany. So I know since you've been using Facepay for a while now, how many of your customers you think are repeat? How many times they're coming in for a year? Because as a lot of these shops are starting up, they might not think about that, but 6 to 12 months down the road, when they might start to see 50, 60% of their client base come back in, then it's pretty much just a click of a button for you, right?
Totally. I just had one yesterday. Her parents live in Alaska, and we told them that the car was all done. And then we were just like, ding, we get the Facepay thing. It's like, oh, her parents paid because they knew the exact amount because we texted it to them, and they already did it on their own, actually. So I don't know if they saved the old message or what, but they did it automatically. So yeah, now once they're checked in too, you have that security that you can get payment from them and everything like that. So we are definitely starting to see more and more repeat customers now that we've been using it for about a year. So.
And a couple of things on that, Brittany, we're working on with these management systems or vitals and things like that to actually notify you when a customer who comes back in and they're in your workflow that they are a Facepay customer, right? So we're working on with those guys, so it's clearer to you that they're already signed up for Facepay versus when you come to checkout, you know, you don't need to do the whole spiel again. So just a couple of things on our end there. So I know it looks like Seiko's mic's not working, but he has a question here. What are the most common objections you get, Brittany, that people will give you, and how can you convince them to sign up?
Sometimes people say that they don't know what it is and they don't know how secure it is, or the name is similar to Facebook or something like that. Like they'll say like weird things like that, but this is not very, very often. This is like maybe 1 out of like 15 customers that will say this kind of stuff. But I tell them like how secure it is. I'm like I promise you it is 100% secure. We've used it ourselves. Like I tell them like how many customers have used it, that there's zero problems, zero issues. Like they can look it up or go to Facepay's website or anything like that to look into it a little bit more. And then again, I just tell them again that like, hey, this is the form of payment that our shop takes, and it's secure for both you and I. So that's again what I go through for that type of objection.
And Seiko, just from that point of view, I think, you know, when you're dealing with people's bank accounts, they're obviously skeptical. When they've heard of Venmo, they haven't heard of Facepay, right? So I think having that conversation and just being confident about that conversation with the customer is the key to it, right? Being not authoritative, but being a little bit more, hey, this is the way we like to accept things. It's ultra secure. And if they want to look us up, they can certainly look us up. Have them look up the system, Plaid. All the banks are using it. Have them look up the blockchain. It's all done there. And you can even show them what you guys see with regards to, like I said, I thought it was very cool the way the customer presented it, the shop presented it to the customer. All we see is your name in our system. Once you sign up, we just see your name. We don't see Wells Fargo Bank. We don't see any of this. We just see when you guys sign up. So, Seiko, thanks for the question. And I heard, and I don't want to call it, like I said, Tyler, Charlie, and Depeche, we can set up something more individual if you want. If you think of anything down the line, then please let us know. And we can certainly address that one-on-one. I want to just give one more chance to people to ask any questions. If not, I'm very conscious of your time. We're a couple minutes early. We got this recorded. I'll send it out to all you guys. If you need anything from us ever, you know to reach out to myself, Frankie, or Matthew's on the call, or even Brittany. I'm putting your services forward here. I know you're busy, but if they had any questions for a shop owner, a shop manager like yourself, are you open if they wanted to call the shop? They can find the shop.
Absolutely.
So,
brilliant.
I got a question.
Yep, go ahead, Depeche.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So the biggest pushback I've had is in my area here, majority of people using debit cards are using credit unions. We have 2 major credit unions in our area, and I've tracked it, and I think almost 80% of them are using those credit unions. And as far as I know, it doesn't cooperate with your system.
So it just takes it takes an extra day, Depeche, and this is for certain demographics is going to work a little better than others. So that's something what I'm going to do after this call here, Frankie or Matthew, can we just make a note to send Depeche that video of the manual sign up when they go down that route. So what it is, Depeche, is when they have a local credit union, we're able to capture every customer, right? Everybody's able to sign up for Facepay. When a local credit union, like you say, they have to do it using their routing number and account number. And that requires an extra step of verification, which takes an extra day. So that's the issue you're running into. What we'll do after this call, Depeche, is send you a YouTube video of how that works and what it looks like from your end, what it looks like from the customer end. And Brittany said that our local credit union is there, and it's just as easy. Big banks. So it's just as easy. They're on there. It sometimes just takes that extra step. So for these bigger jobs, the guys are in for a day or two. We can certainly capture those. If not, Depeche, we still want to follow up with these guys and collect those micro deposits. So Brittany, why don't you just answer that for Depeche? I know you typed in the message there.
Yeah.
What are you seeing on that?
I mean, most of my customers are super into like staying local and doing local things and stuff like that. I use a credit union. Our business uses a credit union. Most of my customers use the same credit union we use too, but it is on there and it doesn't make us do the micro deposit thing. It's just as easy as like if someone had Chase or Bank of America or whatever, I would imagine. So, but maybe some credit unions are different, but it still doesn't take very long, especially if they have a check or, you know, can log into their credit union and get that routing number and their account number. And then the micro deposits are extremely easy to you when you have to do that.
And that's what we'll send you, Depesh. I'll send you the video on that. It's like a minute long. It just explains that process that you're dealing with now. So just keep asking them. It's very apparent in your dashboard when these customers, and you actually get a different message if they sign up as what we call a manual using those local credit unions, or as a Matthew just sent it in the chat there if anybody wants to look at it. But you get a different message, right? You get a different email notification and they appear in your dashboard a little differently. So you just have to know how to deal with those. Again, it comes from that confidence of presenting it and knowing how to handle that from when the customer presents that to you, or when you're dealing with it as a shop. But it's a great question. It's something that I think we need to touch on a little more in the training. So Depesh, thank you for that. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. So unless anybody else has anything right now, I will, I'm addressing Charlie's thing here. Just one there, when it goes into pending, Charlie, you want to watch it go into pending before the payment is officially through. If you see a payment in queued right now, just go ahead and email myself or Frankie and we'll get it addressed, right? But you want to see it in pending before releasing those keys over to the customer, okay? And we will be sending this recording over to you guys where we can on an email.